All right, guys.
Great hairstyle.
Second topic, Smash Bros. DLC.
Boop, boop.
So Mewtwo, people are getting him today, as of the day of we're recording this.
You see, but you're indignant about it because they're not getting him for the right reason. What's happening? It's like YouTubers
No,
are
they're
getting
getting
him.
people are getting him for the right reason. I just fucked up, as people know out there because I've talked about this before. If you wanted Mewtwo, you had to like register your Wii U and your 3DS codes, and you get him like a week early or whatever, and then otherwise we have to buy him next week or in 2 weeks.
Okay.
I never thought that they would have given them early. And like I forgot, it was like, oh, the last day to register is tomorrow, and I was like, oh, I would have to go home, get my 2 coffees, do all this. I was like, I don't want to do any of that. So I was like, I'll just buy it for $5 when it comes out, and then it comes out later. I'm like, oh, well, I made a bad mistake.
I screwed up.
So I don't got Mewtwo. I don't really care about Mewtwo though. I didn't really use him in Melee at all, but I want new Smash Bros. Characters. Gives me an excuse to play again. Forces us to play again, and I like that.
Yeah.
You can vote for what character you want, right? Is that what's going on?
So they announced Mewtwo way back in the day, like before the game came out. Then recently they announced Lucas is going to be the next character coming in June, coming back from Brawl. And now there's this thing with like, oh yeah, for the next characters, we're going to let you vote for whatever character you want. And originally people were like, oh, just Nintendo characters. And then Nintendo was like, no, any game character. Whoever the hell you want, vote for it. And what's interesting to me is the voting is open until October. That's a long ass time. Mm-hmm. So they're getting a lot of data here. That's interesting to me because it's like, why? Why wait that long? Like, why wouldn't they just, put out something a little earlier than that? Because if Mewtwo is in April, Lucas is July. I mean, I guess October is the next thing, but then that wouldn't make sense.
They
because
won't be making all these.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll probably be like, it's not like it's
There's
that
probably
easy.
other characters.
Sorry?
There's probably other characters too.
Yeah, that's true too. But yeah, so I mean, like, it's not a public-facing vote, right? Like you cast your ballot, and I never know.
And it just goes out.
Yeah,
out of there.
They probably have the agreements locked up already.
Exactly.
You all voted for Tails.
Yeah.
Here he is.
Here's Tails. But like, that's what I think. It's like I don't think that they're actually even looking at the votes because they're just like doing this to cause people to talk about it.
Yeah.
And oh my god, are people talking about it? Like it's one of the top NeoGAF threads every day. Is talking about what Smash Bros. Character do you want? And like we get tweets all the time. What characters do you want? Who are you voting for? Help petition to get this character in and all this stuff. I'm like, holy crap, people are taking this really seriously. Yeah. Which is cool because people care about Smash Bros.
I've noticed.
So my question to you guys is, what characters do you want in? Which characters do you not want in? And who do you think will get in? I think you have a lot of insight into this.
I wish that they would remove half the fucking characters that are already in the game.
But
the problem with this with the roster as it is there's just a lot of just these fucking like it's like all these Fire Emblem characters.
Okay,
it's like who the fuck are any of these people? Like I'm like they're all the same. You know what I mean? It's just like dude with cloak and sword. It's like that's fascinating.
So there's another thing that I forgot to say. There was another rumor that dropped a couple days ago because the Mewtwo DLC is coming. There's a patch that was released for Smash Bros. People got in, kind of hacked all the info, and found a bunch of shit.
Hack the planet.
Yeah, and like people do this all the time when games come out, specifically for fighting games and games that kind of like.
That's how every PlayStation All Stars game character came out. Remember that?
Yeah,
that was the best.
That type of shit.
It was all in there. I was like, oh god.
And back in the day, Brawl was hacked, and people found that there was or Melee was hacked originally, and we saw that there was like day-to-day like files in there somewhere. And then Brawl was hacked later. And it was found that there was a Dixie Kong and Mewtwo and one other character. And then now that it's happening here, there was this rumor that Ryu from Street Fighter and Roy from Fire Emblem.
Good, Roy. Let's get Roy back in there.
Roy's our boy,
indistinguishable Fire Emblem character number 7.
Who he was in Melee. Would coming back, and then those rumors have essentially been like squashed and just they're total bullshit. Yeah, if Roy ever comes back to a Smash Bros. Game, I'm going to be shocked. He was my main in Melee, and I fucking loved him. But yeah, if he came back, that would make no sense because then there'd be 3 of the exact same character.
It's too much, man. There's and I respect Fire Emblem. I think it's fine. I just don't understand like why these. It just seems a little uninspired. I feel like this roster, for as big as it is a little bit boring, and I think that it would be cool for them to start really chasing some more third parties. But I also think that there are first party characters that could be in the game that aren't. I mean, I'm really still confused why Ice Climbers aren't in the game. And I would like, Ice Climbers were my main, and I enjoyed playing as them. And it's a little, I know why like they couldn't make them work on 3DS and stuff like that. It's like, which is so funny. And 3DS is like so underpowered that I can't use the Ice Climbers. I was like, all right, that's an interesting issue to run into. But the character that I've wanted for a long time that I talked about is that I think Dr. Wily would have been a cool character. And this is before even Mega Man was in the new one. When I played Brawl and Pokemon Trainer was in it, I was like, this would be an awesome way to do Dr. Wily, to keep him in the background, and then he like summon Robot Masters to fight for him. I think would be really cool. So that's one of them. And I like the more like when Snake was in it. It's like cool to have more serious character. I wouldn't want a character like Ryu in there or whatever. I would like to keep it as cartoonish as possible, unless it's in the Nintendo universe. Then you can have Captain Falcon or whatever, like more humanoid characters. But I can go on and on about the characters that I actually want in the game.
Simon Belmont.
Yeah, Simon Belmont would be extraordinarily awesome, or Alucard or Dracula or whoever. If you want to get like really nerdy, you can get Sypha in there, another more obscure Castlevania character, but. That would be pretty cool. I mean, when you explore like the first party kind of content, they've done a nice job of exploring like getting the villager in there, or even like Wii Sports Trainer or whatever. But I do wonder, like, there's no one from Star Tropics in there, for instance, or like they can go deeper and deeper, and I would like for them to do that. I don't know, but the roster's already very big. But I wish that they would give a thing where like, which characters don't you want? And then they just take like 5 of them out.
You're so funny. You're like the only person
you can't play them anymore. No, I would love for them
to replace. Who do you want replaced?
Like I was actually thinking about this the other day. Since it came to Wii U and 3DS, I've not seen one single solitary fucking person play as one character. And if you can tell me who that character is, I'll be impressed, because I don't even think about him. And it says everything. Why is Olimar in this game? No one plays as him. No one. I have not seen any fucking person with any of the people we've ever played.
No,
with.
we don't. Yeah, we just don't play as him.
Boring.
He's difficult.
And I watch
use.
videos too, and I have seen people use him effectively, but I'm like, this guy, like, come on, man. Like, get him out of there. It's just, I don't know.
Get him out of there. Get him out of there.
That's so funny. The Fire Emblem thing is weird. Like, I can't believe there's that many characters in it, but it all comes down to Sakurai. He's a big fan of Fire Emblem, so he wanted to like support it and like stuff. Like, in a lot of ways, Smash Bros. Made Fire Emblem in America. Like, I wonder if the franchise would have ever even come here if it wasn't for.
Well, it made a lot of curiosity. I mean, that's the brilliance of the marketing angle of Smash Brothers generally. Is just, people are exposed to this game, don't know who these characters are if they're not as into it as we are, and then they go and explore. So it is a nice way to do it, but they didn't have to do it with like all these characters. It's like just doing one or two characters and being like, here's, I don't need the entire fucking cast of every Fire Emblem game.
That's true.
In Smash
There's only
Brothers.
one Fire Emblem character that didn't need to be there, and that's Lucina, because her and Marth are identical, and she could have just been a costume alt, especially because they do costume alts in this game. So that never made sense to me. But besides that, Lucina, Ike, Robin are different ass characters.
I'm not saying they're not different. I'm just saying they all come from the same universe, and they're just cloaked people with, that are boring.
I don't know. I like them. I think they're pretty.
It's
cool.
such a cartoonish game.
Mm-hmm.
I think those characters stand out as like being totally sterile and boring. Like, and I'm not talking about the way they play or anything like that. I'm just saying that like King Day-to-Day is like a funny fucking character. Like Shulk makes a lot of sense in this game. I think that's a really brilliant move.
How does Shulk make more sense than the Fire Emblem guys?
Because Shulk is from a new game that they want to we were just talking about it. They want to advertise, and I think that's a great. When I found out he was in the game, I was like, that's awesome. Like that's a great idea, So get another Xenoblade character in there or something like that, as opposed to all these Fire Emblem dudes. It is just funny. I mean, the game is also made for Japanese audience as well, so we have to keep that in mind.
Yeah. And speaking of another Xenoblade character and Dr. Wily and stuff, they did also, with the Mewtwo update, you can have different Mii Fighter costumes and outfits and shit. And one of them's Proto Man, one of them's Mega Man X, and one of them is another Xenoblade character. That's all cool, but it's like,
yeah, I mean, whatever.
No one uses Mii Fighters.
Just give me Snake back. I had fun with Snake.
He was funny. He was a funny character. I just don't think he fit. It was just weird.
No, it was weird. It was really weird.
So they need to be cartoony characers.
I would like for that. I mean, or like just a character with a real Nintendo heritage, or like Castlevania, or a more cartoonish character. I mean, I would want some sort of like, I don't want to say a homogenous feel, but something of like that feels like when you use one character and the other, it's like a parallel, like from a same from the same universe, as opposed to like Kirby versus Snake. I'm like, what the hell is this?
I thought we were just having fun and tossing stuff out, so I was gonna say, no, I'm not gonna. These are not.
By the way, that's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
It makes sense. That makes sense. It makes sense.
I think it does feel like one world, and like even if they are different ass characters like Snake and Kirby, it's still like I never look at that and go, this doesn't mix. This is weird. I'm like, all right.
I don't know. I always thought it was a little weird.
I mean, Snake's weird. To me, Snake's weird because of the other thing you said about it not having a Nintendo legacy.
Well, that's why I put Twin Snake in.
But that's just
He was
bullshit.
an exclusive.
If I'm just going like the Snake route, I'd be like Snake, Master Chief, Gordon Freeman. If I'm going like
Route makes sense of it all.
Colin's route, maybe like I don't know, I'm trying to think of like if Xbox could toss in a character Blinks.
No, I don't want no blinks.
I was gonna say. I mean, so I was gonna originally say Batman. Because Batman would be awesome, and you'd win that to get Batman in there. Conquer. But then now I would say a legitimate thing based on this criteria would be Shovel Knight.
Yeah,
somebody
Shovel Knight.
new.
And I do that.
He would fit and look great in that.
And I think I have a feeling Shovel Knight's going to get in this game, which would be awesome. And that is a great.
Where do you feel it?
A great example. Right in my balls.
Okay.
And I feel it deep in my balls, deep in my loins. No, I feel like you just have to kind of the aesthetic of the game matters. I like that Snake was in Brawl, but I was weird. It was fucking weird. I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Metal Gear does have a Nintendo first pedigree in the sense that Metal Gear was an MSX game first, but then it was on NES, and that made sense. But the bigger thing was that when Nintendo clarified like any game character, I was like, this is exciting because it got my mind going of like, are the other first parties smart enough to go to Nintendo and be like, you can use any of our characters? Because if like that would be brilliant.
Take all the assets from PlayStation All-Stars.
But like if Sony
just don't and actually go get Crash.
But if Sony was like, it would be really smart for Sony to be like, go and use any of our characters. Like anyone you want. If you want to use like, it doesn't make sense. Like again, Drake doesn't make sense. They're God of War. Like but like use Sackboy. That would he would fit perfectly. That's great. Or Spike. And but like he's not relevant. Sackboy would be like, and that would be brilliant. And I was wondering, it's the same kind of question I had with Minecraft when Microsoft bought Mojang, which was is Microsoft going to be smart enough to publish this on all the platforms? And at the same time, you have to wonder is Nintendo and Microsoft smart enough to be like, or is Sony and Microsoft smart enough to go to Nintendo and be like, our arsenal of characters is open for you to use in your excellent fighting game that is very popular and will do nothing but engender goodwill amongst your audience if we let you do that. But the lawyers will probably freak out. But that's what I got really excited about because I assumed too it would be like, oh, you have to use a game from that played on Nintendo hardware or something like that. But when they said no,
I'll believe it when I see it though. I feel like they're just saying that because that just sounds like such a bullshit statement. Like there's no way that they're gonna do that.
Like a hype statement, yeah.
Right? Like there's like that to me is just further proof that no one's even looking at the results.
I was gonna say when you compare what you're actually getting in the ballot box, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, like, I put Colin in as my thing. You can literally write whoever
what if that
you
happens?
want. And it's just, huh?
What if that happens?
That'd be
what if
amazing.
they pick Colin?
I don't fit in
that'd
there
be good.
either.
Too uninspired.
It's unlikely that they would do it, but I think it's more likely than ever considering the way the platform holders kind of talk to each other and deal with each other. Now we were talking about on Colin and Greg Live today about how Phil Spencer tweeted congratulations to Sony and to From and to Shuhei and everyone when Bloodborne passed 1 million copies. It just seems like there's not too much salt between these guys anymore like there used to be. And so if you can get a character like Jack and Daxter or something in there, like that makes sense, and that's cool to do. I don't think anyone Microsoft has would actually make any sense at all in there, but there are only a few characters that Sony has that would make sense.
When you said Microsoft,
I guess Conquer
Minecraft
and Rare.
The
Minecraft
thing that'd be really interesting. I don't know how the hell it would play or whatever, but I'm sure they could figure that out. That'd be interesting.
And then people would be like, "Why isn't this on Wii U?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
too late now.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of characters that just
NX,
make
that's where
sense.
it's coming.
Like Bomberman.
Bomberman,
cool. Simon Belmont. Rayman was a rumored leak for a while, and it's like he doesn't really have the history. But then when you look at like the Wii U, I guess with like Legacy and
Origins and
which
Legends and Origins.
Yeah, or not Legacy. Yeah. I guess he has something there, and he can fit in the franchise. Like he fits in the world for sure.
Sure.
So that'd be cool. I don't know who else I would want. I do want Colin in a cloak though. If he's in, he needs to be in a cloak.
Give me a big sword and
Blue
a
hair.
cloak and make me boring and
yeah, that'll be good.
And I'll fit right in there with the other Fire Emblem characters. I was thinking there were some other guys too. Like what was I? I was thinking about this not too long ago. Oh, we were talking about Toad. Like that was, or not Toad, Wart from Mario 2. Like that would be awesome. To have like a guy like Ward in there. There's Birdo would be funny, or any like Mauser or any of the like Fry guy. Like there's just like certain random ass characters they can put in there. They have to. It's cool that they want to open it up. It makes them look very democratic. I think that they would be wise to just go back into their archives and see like what they're missing because they're missing a lot. I was thinking about Microsoft too. I mean, everything with Rare associated with Rare, so Conquer would make sense. And Battletoads would make sense too. Banjo would make sense. So I don't know. They have such a wealth of things to choose from, and I think a lot of third parties, especially, would fall over themselves to be in that game.
Yeah.
It didn't sell extraordinarily well, but it's very popular, and nonetheless, when people play it and talk about it, and it's kind of part of the zeitgeist, and it's going to be for years. So to get your character in there is a huge move forward. And you can find characters that don't necessarily make sense that they figure out anyway. Like, I'm not a huge fan of Pac-Man in the game, and like when I found out Pac-Man was gonna be in the game, I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean? And they figured it out.
Yeah.
So you could find these older arcade style characters and get them in there. It would be cool, for instance, to have like Jumpman in there, you know, and he's basically Mario, but he's not, and like to give him a different kind of moveset, like really go back and go deeper. You know, and a little more obscure. Deeper. They did that with Rob, and they did that with Game & Watch. So it's like they could do more.
Yeah, and there's like 700 other Pokemon. So
that's another thing that you brought up. Is like, why are some of these fucking Pokemon in this game? Greninja or whatever the hell his name is. Really? You might as well put like Magnetite in the fucking game and just get it over with. You know what I mean? Like, just put Magnetite in there and Snorlax.
I don't think Magnetite's a Pokemon.
Is Snorlax not in anymore, even as an item?
Magnetite's a Pokemon.
Magnemite.
Isn't Magnetite?
It's Magnemite and Magneton.
Oh, Magneton. I was thinking Magnetite was like the one with the one magnet and then the three.
Magnemite had two thingies, and then Magneton had 3 heads.
That's all 3, yeah.
Whatever, I don't care. Put those guys in there.
Yeah, they should. That'd be cool. I want to vote for Magnemite.
Now there would be one funny.
Just Dreamcast?
Dreamcast.
There would be Crazy Taxi Driver?
Shenmue.
Magikarp would be funny to put in there.
Yeah.
As like a joke character. Kind of like Dan in Street Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Where you could actually use him effectively if you wanted to, but it's still like funny.
Yeah.
I don't know. All I know is that Smash Brothers game is excellent. And I'm so glad that they did it. I'm sorry that it's stranded on that hardware because a lot of people aren't going to play it. Can you imagine how well that game would sell if it was on everything?
NX?
Yeah. On NX, yeah. But it's not even like an anti-Nintendo thing. It's just like I'm really sorry that it's stranded on that hardware.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this great game. Because I love playing it. And you have to buy like GameCube controllers and all that. It's just an expensive game to play. When we were in Toronto, we were playing on Wii nunchucks. And it's like I can't play it like this.
Mm-mm.
You know? So,
GameCube controllers are cheap now, though. On Amazon for the first time ever. They're like $25.
Oh.
Can't believe it. Because they were like skyrocketed for a while.
So for $75, you too can play with your friends.
Yeah. It's fucking worth it.